Do you want to change your career but you just feel too scared to finally make the move and jump off into the void? If that sounds like you, then stay tuned because today I'm going to share with you exactly what you can do if you want to change your career. Hi, I'm Serena Simmers and welcome to 8 Model Psychology. This week I'm introducing a very new, very exciting segment. I'm going to be answering your questions. Every month, right here, I'm going to take a question that I've received directly from you, the audience. So either via social media, via emails, which I get very often from people just saying, well, what do you think I could do about this, or this, or this? Or I may even take questions directly from the clients I'm working with. The idea behind this is to take questions that you have mulling around in your head about making changes in your own life, and then I'm going to take the time to give you the answers from an ape perspective. Let's roll with the first question today, and that is, how can I change my career? I'm scared that a career change won't work out. Very good question. I'm going to keep this one anonymous today because this was via a private message on social media, so I'm going to protect your identity. The first bit of the answer might not be what you want to hear, but the answer starts a little something like this. It might not work out. The fact of the matter is you could make the decision to make a big leap into a new career or a new job and find that when you get there, you just don't like it as well. You don't feel fulfilled in this role, it's not what you thought it would be, and all of those old feelings of feeling stuck might just start to creep back. What I'm saying here essentially is there are no guarantees in this world that if you make a change, that change will be a better option. The grass isn't always greener on the other side. But the key question is this: are you willing to stay exactly where you are and live that mediocre, unhappy life? My guess is the answer is going to be no, and that's why you've had itchy feet to make a change in the first place. At APE, we are all about embracing change and, to some degree, almost kind of thinking ahead and predicting your thoughts in the future. So what would I think and what would I feel if I stayed in this current status, if I stayed in this way of being, and essentially this was the trajectory for my future? The fact of the matter is that when it comes to a job or career, there are no guarantees in that specific job or career you're doing probably anyway. I've said here before at APE, for example, that people often wait, in my experience, for that external force, something to force them to make a change. So that's things like threat of redundancy, maybe they've been ill or someone in their family has been ill or even died. So the question becomes, are you willing to make a brave but conscious change about that move that you want to make? And personally, I think you can do it, and I think you can do it because I've helped so many people do it for themselves. Now at APE, I'm all about giving helpful, constructive advice that's based on our psychology and giving us the best foot forward. So with that in mind, I want to launch into the first thing that you could do to help you on your journey to make this change and to help it feel a little less scary. And this is all about planning and asking yourself the right questions. So the first question I want to ask you is, do you have a compelling vision? We are big on vision here at 8 Model. In fact, it's the first thing we do when we do the 8 Model. You need a compelling vision. You need something to drive you and push you forward, something that you have clarity around. So in other words, you know what you want your life to look like in the future. When it comes to your career, you might have a specific job or role in mind, and that's also good. What does that look like, and can you flesh out that vision as much as possible? The other thing to ask yourself is this leap, is this change actually linked to my purpose? Ultimately, if you know what your purpose is, if you know what you're here to do and what you want to achieve, if you can link that vision, if you can link that change somehow to your true purpose, suddenly that change becomes much easier. The other thing that you can do is to do the sums. It's a facet of change that I think a lot of other coaches and therapists basically miss out, and that is just getting crystal clear and super real about your current situation. By that I mean, let's look at your finances, let's look at your time, let's look at your family structure and the kind of things that you want to fit into your life. In other words, that change that you want to make has to look like a good fit for you realistically. In other words, if you were going to do a job and you realise that the salary was 10 grand less, and actually that's going to mean that you struggle in your daily life, then no wonder the change feels difficult. It feels like a sacrifice. Ultimately, getting all of that information together helps you feel grounded and psychologically and emotionally set to make a change in your future. The other thing that you can do is just make a little change every day, so a small step towards making that bigger change. Maybe for you that looks like doing some research, maybe it looks like doing some sums every night and kind of getting things crystal clear, or talking things through with your family. Maybe it also looks like doing some extra training or even doing some extra work in the evenings that all make you feel like you are doing something for this future change. These are all things that you can do to help you start to make that psychological and practical shift into another career. But in the meantime, I really encourage you to try and relate to your current job and your current situation in a joyful manner. It sounds a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but the reason I say that is who you are now in this current job that you might not like is who you will take into your future. That essentially is your future self. So we need to constantly be happy and working on our internal selves so that we're taking that happy version of ourselves into the future. I hope that this helps you with that question if you also have that question for yourself about a career change. And remember, if you like what you've seen, please click on the link below to subscribe. And if you have a question for me, definitely post it below or email me. And I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye!